Any questions? Sure.
Yeah, I'm curious, an example of the game console, Xbox, right? I thought it was a very interesting example, right? Fascinating. And it was about, I can see why it makes it faster and remove some of the intermediaries and so on. But it wouldn't stop piracy, right? I mean, if that's the main concern that game, I assume it's the biggest problem that game producers have. This wouldn't be able to stop it.
Yeah, this solution was meant to manage a clunky royalty payment process, right? So it's not. I mean, I can imagine use cases that are more purpose-built to preserve like intellectual property, but it's also, I think, fundamentally difficult when you're dealing with a technology that at its core, its ethos is open source. So what is IP in an open source world anyway? So not sure if that answers the question, but yeah, I think that particular solution was purpose-built to streamline that particular process. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. On the valuation of collateral for stable coins, is disclosure getting better there, or should we kind of get to a system where kind of like a money market fund, you have kind of almost like a daily NAV that you would hope without breaking the bond?
Well, it's actually pretty interesting because what we've seen just organically in the market is that the stablecoin issuers have been, I would say, nudged and encouraged because these attestation reports that have been out there, although they are different in form, they're gravitating towards, like I would say, a market-driven best practice. What it's also done is pressure the mix of investments. It's made them simpler. A lot of it's cash at banks. A lot of it is U.S. Treasuries in a segregated investment account managed by a third-party investment firm. I think just yesterday, Circle announced that everything was moving to BlackRock. It's a money market fund. So it's actually an SEC-registered money market fund. I do think that trend will only like persist. Everyone's going to gravitate towards that mix of collateral. So you will have an opportunity to have something more real time, if you will, right? I think the challenge still with the real time is going to be the off-chain leg of this is still settling on fiat rails. So you still have T+1, depending on the investment type, maybe T+2 settlement. And you'll have inevitably these reconciling items, these receivable payables between the issuer's operating account and the account set up for the benefit of the token holders, right? So you'll have all these reconciling differences, and that will pose a barrier to true like real-time assurance that paints the full picture. But again, part of a suite of assurance solutions that you could bring to bear.
Just commenting what Bob is saying, I speak along with this. Yeah. Before you look at continuous assurance, you have to look at continuous measurement. And the standards now basically are still in the old year end valuation kind of thing. And so we need to kind of come out and not only measure the particular item. Blockchain is not continuous. This is let's say Bitcoin every 10 minutes, so it's dump. And then the other thing is the collateral needs to be also verified. You see the recent problems we have with linked commodities. The base commodity went down, then the other one went down. So I think we need to rethink a little bit continuous measurement and continuous assurance, and we need to create some schemata of alerting. Because the kind of the old, at the end of the year, look at what we are doing, it doesn't matter. And then the other part of this is that actually this is not only interesting to the auditors or to the regulatory authorities. This is interesting to the traders, interesting to the people that invest.
Right.
So I think thinking about continuous needs to change.
Right. We have seen instances where people have built like essentially listener bots that will say, raise a flag if this condition is not true, right? So to the extent that you can automate more of kind of the relationship you're interested in, then yeah, I think people are already doing that. The challenge is still gonna be when part of the transaction or the setup is still off chain, right? Will the off chain catch up to the on chain?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.